everyone. My name's Carmen James. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer of Liquidity Group. We're an AI-driven direct lender investing globally and actually developing our machine learning models from our R&D center just in ADGM next door. It's my pleasure to welcome you to our panel discussion on Inside an AI-powered economy today here at Abu Dhabi Finance Week. We all know that Abu Dhabi is the capital of capital, but it's actually becoming a real contender for the capital of AI. The Technology Innovation Institute's LLM actually surpasses the performance of Meta's Llama model. We have the world's first graduate-level AI university, Mohammed bin Zayed AI University, and we're also committing significant capital, everyone from MGX to G42, investing very heavily in this space. So as Rachel mentioned, AI is set to add over 15 trillion to the global economy over the next 10 years, and today we'll be exploring how this technology is reshaping industries and redefining our future. It wouldn't be an AI panel without an incredibly healthy dose of AI in the panel prep, so shout out to our internal AI engine for helping me draft these questions. And please meet our panelists. I'm thrilled to introduce them. We have Bruno Lanvin, president of the Descartes Institute, who brings a real wealth of knowledge in urban innovation and digital transformation. Rizwan Tufail, the chief data officer at Pure Health, who is really leading the charge in leveraging AI for groundbreaking advancements in healthcare. And finally, Mustafa Tahiri, the Chief Operating Officer at State Street, who is really pioneering the use of AI in financial services and asset management. So over the next 20 minutes, we'll be diving into how AI is not just a tool, but a real catalyst for change across urban development, healthcare, and finance. So let's get started. Mustafa, from your perspective at State Street, how is AI really reshaping asset management and investment strategies in ways that might surprise us?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone, and glad to be here. First, I would say AI has a profound impact on asset management and investment services business. And to be short, if I take three key areas, one is obviously productivity. We keep 10% of the world asset at State Street, so we run huge amount of data, transaction, positions on behalf of our clients. So the ability to use AI more, initially traditional AI, then productive AI, now Gen AI to drive productivity is a key element of our growth and how we give back efficiency back to our client and marketplace. So application go for machine learning, robotics to Gen AI now, and it's still ongoing and scaling up. There is still huge potential in that space. The second area is data, and it was mentioned in the earlier panel. There are two elements to data. One is how data is used to drive insight and investment strategies for fund managers. So the ability now to manage unstructured and conventional data in a way which is meaningful for investment is becoming a key differentiator when it comes to asset management space. The other part is monetization of data. There is a recognition now data is an asset, and when you sit on a lot of data, how your business model is evolving to have data as an asset to be basically commercialized for the use of client. That's a different, again, way how asset manager industry and ecosystem is evolving. The third element, which is, I think, important, is there are a few pain points in the industry, which now technology and AI is starting addressing. One is private market. There is no large institutional investor today who is not exposed or investing actively in the private market. Extremely fragmented, non-standardized space, extremely manual, extremely costly. The ability to leapfrog technologies to get to more automated, standardized manner to ease access to these asset classes for I would say, the masses is an important development. The other example is wealth management and what we call hyper-personalization, ability to meet every one of us needs while generating a pooling of assets investment has been as well enabled by technology. So as you can see, there are a lot of applications which drive a lot of excitement how AI could drive a profound change in asset management industry.
We're definitely seeing that from Liquidity Group as well, especially in the private market space. Rizwan, moving over to you in healthcare. Pure Health has really been pioneering the use of AI in healthcare. And how is AI currently being integrated into delivery? And what are the breakthroughs that you anticipate?
Fantastic. So I'll start off with a very, very short introduction of Pure Health. Pure Health is the Middle East's largest integrated healthcare network. with also within our fold is the UK's largest private healthcare network. So we're a global healthcare provider, hospitals as well as insurance companies. And our mission is to democratize longevity. And the way we're doing that is through the use of data and AI. Generally, when people talk about, and we're focused very much on precision health, not just precision healthcare, because right now the model of healthcare is actually sick care. You go to seek treatment when you're sick. We want to develop a model of precision health. Generally, when people talk about healthcare or precision care, they talk about, think about a continuum of data. So a figure 8. Generally, what that means is you and I go to see a doctor, we get our diagnostics done. That diagnostics is used to train models. That is then used to develop new drugs. Those drugs come back and are then used in the care settings. We think that there is a model where another round could be added before that. And we think of that as preventative healthcare. And that's where we're empowering individuals with the information so that they can take better care of themselves. So there's tremendous work that is happening in health with data and AI. It's impacting people's lives, and it is a big, big commercial opportunity. I know that the focus of this panel is also the AI-powered economy. There are estimates that say that by 2030, data and AI in healthcare will be a $188 billion opportunity. And that is a good thing, because the healthier we are, the better we can contribute in other sectors of the economy, the better lives we can lead. And that is what is really exciting.
Well, speaking of better lives, Bruno, how do you envision AI transforming our urban ecosystems beyond just infrastructure? And what unique challenges and opportunities do you think this presents for the Middle East?
Yes, thank you. We have to realize that by 2050, 80% of the world population will be living in cities. So if AI is not transforming our lives in cities, it will not be transforming our lives globally. It also means that 3 more billion people are going to have to be accommodated in cities. And we need intelligent and creative approaches to accommodate this additional population. I was very stimulated by the first 2 sessions of this afternoon on AI for good, and then looking at the overall perspectives for AI and its governance. And regarding cities, there are 3 areas that need to be flagged. The first one is data. Okay? As was mentioned in the previous panel, the reason why academia has not led the way and the private sector did it is that they didn't have the same access to data. And we often hear that data is the new oil. I object to that. Data is not the new oil. Data is the new air. We breathe it continuously. Without it, we cannot compete, we cannot survive, we cannot exist. This is the new deal in which we have to operate. So the data, with IoT everywhere, with sensors everywhere across cities, is the first area of impact. The second one is, as you mentioned, on the infrastructure side. We are seeing a blurring of the lines between real estate, between urban design, between transportation, mobility, between energy consumptions. All of this, under the aegis of AI, is becoming one single endeavor. You cannot optimize energy use in cities and pursue the SDGs of sustainability only through smart grids. You have to rethink mobility. You have to rethink design of not just the buildings, but neighborhoods. And the third one, and in my view, maybe the most important, is that we live in a world where geopolitics is changing the deal. We see that multilateral disciplines have collapsed. We see that nation-states are becoming less important than they used to be. We see corporations taking bigger roles. We are going to see cities and regions taking bigger roles as well. And these cities will be competing with each other. Financial hubs like Abu Dhabi will be competing with other financial hubs across the planet. AI will be a very big asset in that kind of competition. So data, infrastructure, global competition are the three areas where AI will make all the difference.
I think Abu Dhabi is making some great strides to become a leader in the AI space, so I guess we'll watch this space. We'll do a question to all of you, and I might go down in a row and start with you, Mustafa. To all of our panelists, so as AI is becoming more prevalent, concerns about job displacement are one of the biggest headlines that we see is, around AI. So how do you see the workforce evolving in your respective industries, and what new roles or skills do you think will be in high demand?
Yeah, I would say every major technology evolution has impacted the role of human being in the workplace. That starts with internet, cloud, traditional AI. That's a continued adaptation. We as employees, workforce, have to adapt to that changes. The two learning for us from the past and for the future, one, embracing the opportunity. AI will augment our capability to deliver more, get rid of low value, to get to high value interaction, having more human-to-human interaction, and rely on the machine to accelerate the work we do. And second, for corporations like ourselves, what is our responsibility vis-à-vis our employees? How we can assist them, support them in this transition, how we can think about the future of work and get them ready for the next generation is an important role all companies need to start thinking about as this acceleration adoption is going. What is our role preparing our workforce for the future?
Very, very interesting. We're doing that at Liquidity. Our analysts definitely keep busy, but we can do a lot more deals than we would without our technology engine. Bruno, how about in the real estate industry? What's your view?
Well, in January 2020, I had the honor to launch in Davos the 8th edition of the Global Talent Competitiveness Index. And the title of the report was AI and Jobs. And 2020 is not so far away. It's 4 years ago. The degree of understanding has changed radically in terms of implication for jobs. In 2020, people were basically looking at what kind of jobs are going to be replaced by AI. We are not anymore in that context. We're looking at ways in which AI can enhance productivity, can make jobs more impactful, including on global goals. And the rationale is not now, am I going to choose as a student, as a youngster, the area in which I will not compete with AI, but on the contrary, an area in which I can leverage my knowledge of AI to be a better architect, to be a better doctor, to be a better politician. This is the mindset about the future of work. The other dimension that we must not forget, and which AI will enhance very much, is that we are also beyond the notion of brain drain and brain gain. And we've moved to the area of brain circulation. Employers, public and private, have realized that it is to their benefit to let some of their best employees go away, sometimes work for the competition, work in other countries, and bring back more knowledge and more value. And AI will help a great deal enhance this circulation around the globe.
Rizwan, how about in healthcare? This might be one of the industries where it'll impact the workforce the most in a positive way. How are you seeing that change play out?
Completely agreed. In fact, one of the godfathers of digital health, Professor Eric Topol, said many years back, said the question is, AI will not replace a physician. But what is true is that a physician who uses AI will most certainly replace a physician who does not use AI, right? And so that's how we've got to think about it. It's actually augmentation. And when we look at our industry, the problem in our industry is not actually about people worrying about jobs. In fact, we've got the opposite. We've got physician burnout. People are burnt out because of the excessive load. Globally, by 2030, there will be a shortage of 10 million healthcare workers across the globe. 124,000 doctors will be missing in the US. In the UAE, 33,000 healthcare workers will be needed, and we will be looking for them. So the opportunity is all about thinking how technology and AI will make the job of a healthcare worker that much more productive, truly augmenting their ability to take care of us.
Well, I look forward to receiving that when I'm in the UAE. One more question for you, Mustafa. At State Street, you've been investing very heavily in AI adoption. So how do you think about, beyond just kind of optimizing the back office, optimizing the man and machine interaction to create true alpha versus just reducing cost?
Yeah, so True Alpha is about client centricity. I think AI drive productivity, but drive as well opportunities for new services, client experience, the way we interact with client. And Bruno, you mentioned something very important, the academia and data, and something we've been doing for the last 15 years at State Street. As I said, we cover 45 trillion of assets. We have 230 years of existence. We support world large investors. So the data is available. We have technology people. So what we did is we partnered with academics. We are based in Boston, we have MIT, we have Harvard, and we extended that. We create a group called State Street Associates, and we ask academics to come and work with us. We create a platform for that, to use the data on an anonymized basis, to bring their intelligence and research, but to make it very concrete to the data implementation. That's been running for a while now. We give you a few examples around inflation, around market sentiment about securities. We developed offering around ESG exposure. We have recent inflation crisis we've been through. A lot of our clients were asking for this data on a daily basis because we can go and get the prices of all goods every day in Walmart and other prices and tell them the real price change every day. So the ability, again, using technology, a brain power of our research, the data set, is a very good application how using technology, trust, relationship, and data could drive alpha for investors and value for end state, I would say, traditional and institutional investors.
Well, speaking of data, Bruno, actually smart cities will generate massive amounts of data. So how would this be harnessed to create new economic opportunity, and how might this change the nature of work and living spaces in the future?
Yeah, very, very quickly. We have more data than we can analyze. Okay? It is in 1998, I think, that the total amount of data produced by machines became bigger than the total amount produced by humankind since it became humankind. So we are in a different order of magnitude where only artificial intelligence can actually make sense of some of the patterns that emerge from the data. And artificial intelligence will keep being better than humans at doing it. There are still functions, however, that are going to be needed, and some of them increasingly needed to handle this data. One of them will be to identify the goals. Why do we want to use the data? Why do we want to apply data? Now, you may look at health and say, okay, we have a very critical issue here regarding malaria, for instance. And then you apply it directly, and brute force will do a lot. But you may have more generic goals, like a little one like, how do we save the planet from climate change? Okay? Then you need to identify patterns at a higher level. And these are areas in which the notion of governance above ethics, like was mentioned in the previous panel, is becoming very important.
Rizwan, in healthcare and beyond clinical applications, how is AI transforming healthcare administration and policy making? And are there any unexpected benefits or challenges that you've encountered?
So there are tremendous benefits, and those benefits are all anticipated and most certainly planned. So I started off by saying we're trying to democratize longevity. And a key part of that is that we've got to actually reduce the divide between those people that can afford and those people that cannot afford. There is still a huge chasm between healthcare in developing countries and less developed countries. In fact, even in the developed countries, the excessive burden of healthcare costs is a huge barrier. So it is incumbent upon us, it is necessary that we look at not only the clinical, but also the non-clinical side of healthcare. There are a number of things that are being done in that realm. We do a lot of that using, as an example, using AI to do predictive staffing. We know that on particular days, there will be a surge of patients coming in. Anticipating that and upping your staffing related to that and reducing it otherwise. Those are just some of the examples through which we are improving the efficiency of healthcare.
Well, I'm going to end with a rapid fire to all three of our panelists. So finally, looking ahead to 2030, what do you believe will be the most transformative application of AI in your field that either doesn't exist or it's in its infancy today?
I would say conjunction of power of AI, analytical power of AI, and transparency of blockchain.
Totally agree with you. Bruno?
I think a key ingredient for success will be our ability to involve younger generation in decision-making and governance. Younger generations are very well equipped to understand the mechanics of AI. They need to be brought to the fore in terms of shaping its governance.
So 2030 is going to be really, really exciting. And there are a few reasons for that. So we're all excited about taking better care of ourselves. But just one data point and then the thing. Nearly only 20% of our health span over the course of our lives is determined by genetics. Only 20% is actually determined by our interactions in a healthcare ecosystem. The rest of it is behaviors, socioeconomic determinants of health. So what will happen in 2030 is we will have access to life coaches, virtual life coaches, that will use all of our data, not only medical history, not only claims histories, but what we do in our spare time, how we're using our me time, our relaxing time, all of that data to using that data to nudge us towards healthier behaviors, and that will give us more time to spend with our loved ones. That, to me, is a really, really exciting opportunity. And the thing is, not only are we dreaming of that opportunity, but at Pure Health, through Pura, one of our applications, we're actually doing that right now, and it will only get better with time.
Well, it all sounds very promising. Hopefully by 2030, we'll all be richer, healthier, and happier. And on that note, thank you very much for all our panelists.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good.